Hello, everyone. I want to share the good news, whoop, whoop, from Dr. Fauci. I heard this at the end of last week, and I'm going to read you his statement talking about when we're going to return to normal human interactions. But first, I want to lay the groundwork before I share this. So last week, I was leading Conversation 6 of the COVID-19 free series called The Next 6 Months. And over the course of almost a year now, we have been talking about the evolution of virtual galas and what works, what doesn't work, what's changing, and so forth. So last week, Conversation 6, we were looking at the 4 different types of virtual galas that are out there. And what I did is, of the 33 events that I did, virtual events that I did last year, I edited several of them down, and then I put them into categories. I said, so if you want to do a 2-screen solution, here's 3 examples of 2-screen solutions that I've done. And this is what your guest would see and how they would interact. Now, if you want to do a pre-recorded event, here's an example of that. If you want to do a Zoom meeting virtual gala, here's what that looks like. If you want to do a 1-screen solution, here's what that means and what that looks like. With the idea being that everybody could look at those and get a sense of, wow, this would work really well for us, or we like this approach, and then choose your production company accordingly and plan your event. So that was part of the pre-work leading up to it. And as you can imagine, talking about the next 6 months, pretty much the spring events are going to be virtual. Summer, well, if it's nice and you can go outside, you might be able to have some sort of a gathering. That kind of gets starting to get into hybrid. And that's where this really starts to take off after I talk about Dr. Fauci here, is what about these hybrid events in the fall where we're having some people gather together, other people watch from their home, and what's involved with all of that. So let me share with you what Dr. Fauci had said. He was being interviewed. The governor of Virginia asked him to some event, and I believe the person interviewing him was Dr. Robert Wynn, who works for Virginia Commonwealth University. So the question was, and I'm going to read you all 5 or 6 sentences that Dr. Fauci said, when can we resume normal human interactions? Dr. Fauci said, well, that's dependent on us, because if we get the overwhelming majority of the population, and I would estimate based on experiences with the measles, it should be somewhere between 70 and 85% to what we call herd immunity, where the virus does not have any room to go anywhere because most everybody, but not everybody, but most everybody is protected. If we roll out the vaccines and we are successful in convincing the overwhelming majority of people to get vaccinated, logically, that would take us towards the end of the summer. So let's say we start getting through the priority groups in February, March, and April. April, we start open season, and anybody can get vaccinated, and we vaccinate effectively and efficiently in May, June, July, and August. Well, by the time I believe we get to fall, and it's a big if that you have to underline, if we get that overwhelming majority of people vaccinated, I think we can start approaching a reasonable degree of normality towards the mid-fall of 2021. I suspect that those of you that were planning to have fall events in early 2021 might already be thinking you want to move that to November and December. November is always kind of a crowded month for galas. It may be hotter than usual this year, along with December, with these hopes that people have of going back to some degree of normality. So, amen. That's what we've heard thus far. Now let's talk about these hybrid events. So a few vlogs ago, I had talked about hybrid events, what they were, few people in a room, everyone else watching virtually. And I talked about how I just have a great fear that we're not going to do these very well at all. And the reason why is because when you've got people right in front of you, you pay attention to the people in front of you. You can interact with them, you see their energy, they're looking at you. It would be rude to ignore them. It's a different interaction than when I'm looking at the camera and interacting with you through the camera. If I'm interacting with you through the camera, I'm ignoring everybody over here. Very rude to the people who paid to come to your event. So I had said at that time, a few weeks ago, I said, I think the only way that we could do this well is if we have two hosts. We've got one host that's looking at the camera and doing what they need to do to engage this crowd, and another host which is managing the in-room. And if you've got a really good tech team and some creativity that's pulled into this, yeah, it's possible that you would be able to somehow make these two interact and it would look great and it would work. However, in my experience, the amount of budget that takes, skill set, creativity, just the depth of knowledge to pull all of that together, very few nonprofits have it. They just don't have it. You know, there's too much. That's a big undertaking. That's something that you see in New York and LA, right? That's not something you see on average in most of your nonprofit gala events, which means that it's not that people won't try it. It's just that it's not going to work well. One group or the other is going to get the shaft. It's not going to be all that effective. Even before COVID, there were some events that I would work that they would do a Facebook Live at the same time that we were running the gala. I remember one time we raised $100,000, just over, for one group in the room. And I want to say $50 was raised through Facebook Live. You know, now I'm not paying attention to Facebook Live. I don't need to. I'm paying attention to the people in the room. And that's what I think happens generally with all of these with that, what will happen with these hybrid events. Now let's talk about where virtual galas are going then. So if we've got virtual galas, and then maybe we have a little brief window in there where we do hybrid galas, and then we go back to normal in-person galas, will we use these virtual galas ever again? Well, yeah, I think so. First off, the groups that I think may continue with virtual galas, maybe as an add-on to their already fundraising event calendar, or maybe to replace their in-person gala, are those that have a lot of national support and people spread out across the country or the world. Those virtual galas can be a real boon to them because they're able to bring everybody together. For the local homegrown charity that support is pretty much right there in their town, I don't see as where the virtual gala is going to be successful. They might use the technology that they've learned from the virtual gala to do it in other ways, like they might use that for volunteer training. They might use that for rolling out of new programs, educational types of things, volunteer appreciation, whatever. But I don't see it being utilized as a fundraising platform like the virtual galas that we've seen thus far to date that have been very successful when done well, right? I don't need to hear anyone else tell me that they are zoomed out, because you know what? I don't believe people are zoomed out. I believe people are zoomed out of bad Zoom galas. That's what I believe. But if you do a good Zoom gala, if you do an interactive one, you got charismatic people engaging with you on the camera, it's not bad. I can't tell you the number of clients I've had that they've had their board members, their donors step up and say, that was so much fun. It can be done. You just got to pull together it comes down to people. Always it comes down to the right people. You get the right people, the people make the party. You get the right people and you're going to have a great event. Even if it's Zoom, even if it's a studio virtual gala event, even if. All right, so there you have it. I have shared the good news. Woo! And we'll see where things go. There was a lot of ifs in there. There was a lot of underlines in there, but at least it's a little bit of hope and a time that is really nice to have some hope, right? Okay, if you want to join me for my virtual gala fundraising class, that's happening January 26th and 27th. If you are planning a virtual gala this spring or summer or early fall, get in on the ground floor with us on that. This is actually round 2 that I'm leading. I've done a lot of updates with this course, and so I'll be leading that, and then we'll have our third portion of that, the Q&A, which will be in February. So that's on my website under the shop section. Or if you want me to talk to you about running your virtual gala, either participating as an auctioneer, MC, or actually doing the back end team as well, I can do both of those, or tell you at least what I have to offer. And you can schedule a meeting with me on my website, redappleauctions.com. Hey, thanks for tuning in. And as always, hey, good luck to you in your virtual